How's it going, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. As you know, this channel is mostly about simulation games, but I found a pretty interesting one I wanted to get in front of you all because this brings in another of my favorite things in the world, which is Lovecraftian fiction. So yeah, this is in a way a Lovecraftian shop simulator. It's called Sunken. It's still in early access, but there's a lot of content, and I would say it's well worth the $10 price tag. If you could get it on sale, all the better. But just from the menu screen here, you can see that there's already some kind of bizarre non-Euclidean geometry going on here, along with some kind of creepy music. It's a bit simple. All right. Kind of the setup of this game is you inherit this shipyard in disrepair from your late father, and you have to set to work restoring it, taking work, while also figuring out what exactly is going on this island, this mysterious island of Darkwater. That's a pretty standard Lovecraftian plot right there. You know, an island with weird stuff going on, and you have to figure it out. What is interesting about this game is it's at its heart, it's pretty much like a retail simulator, right? Where you kind of have to bounce between different tasks that have time limits. So the primary way of making money is actually taking like ship repair jobs. Now in the beginning, you're mostly just cleaning ships, you're picking up trash and scraping off barnacles and such. But as you advance and upgrade your dock and get new licenses, you can do more serious repairs. Now, from a player perspective, nothing is very particularly advanced. It's all pretty simple, but there's quite a few things to do. You also have out back here, they call it the bazaar, but like a little shop where the oysters, well, they call them oysters. I think they're actually clams, but whatever. And starfish that you scrape off of ships can be sold. And you can also, in your kitchen, you can choose to crack open the oysters to try to get pearls to also sell. And then townspeople will show up to buy things. So it's a secondary income stream. Now, one note about the graphics. So as you can tell, they're fairly simple. And a lot of the darkness, I think, is used to hide how simple they are. And that contrasts with the human characters, who are these fairly brightly colored, very wide-eyed 2D figures. There's no voice acting, but you know, I think the 2D characters are fairly expressive. And again, this is not exactly a high-budget game, so I appreciate them getting creative. But looks like she's brought us a shopping list here. So we have to get a sack, and looks like 1 oyster, 4 starfish, and 1 pearl. So we got an oyster, starfish, pearl. And then also leopard miskatonic angelfish. Now you can also fish, like go fishing in this game. That's where these fish all come from. And this ship in a bottle, as you're cleaning and overhauling ships, sometimes you'll find items like that in the drawers and cabinets, and apparently you could just take them and sell them. So we could go ahead and check her out here. One kind of neat thing is you have to make change. So I take her payment, and she is due a change of 15. So there we go. The main jobs come in via your radio fax here. So let's go ahead and pick one of these. Okay, so these are both fairly simple ones. So there's a multitude of tasks you can do for each job. The brush indicates cleaning, stains and stuff. The bucket is picking up trash. The scraper is scraping life off of it. And repairs can be actually a few different things. They can be anything from just hammering in boards to, what are they, like you might have to fix the transmission, or as you go on, you have to like knock loose some stuck engine cylinders. So we're getting ready here. Now, what's interesting, something interesting about this game is you can only have 1 save file. I wanted to start a new save to make this video, but I can't. So we're pretty late in the game here. So let's go ahead and get this guy checked out. 4 oyster, 4 starfish, 1 pearl. Okay. And was it the hook jaw? Yeah. So on the right here, it's telling us how many of each task we have left. So we got 34 trash to pick up, etc. So again, I have, you can upgrade all of your tools as you proceed. That's one of the big money sinks. So I'm able to do this a lot quicker, but also bear in mind that the jobs in the early game are a lot smaller. So it's never that frustrating. There's 1 more piece of trash in here. You also get this kind of, I think they call it like shipyard sonar that'll call out things you need to do. All right, so let's move to the brush and we can clean up these mysterious stains. All right, and always check the drawers. As mentioned, you can find items in these that you can sell. All right, so now we have to get to scraping. So yeah, these just kind of barnacles and stuff, those don't do anything, but the oysters, which I think are actually clams, and starfish you can sell, or in the case of oysters, you can crack them open for a chance at getting pearls, which sell for more, of course. Alright, and that's all done, and we just have one repair left to make. Oh, you'll see on the left there we have a wealthy customer. So they'll show up occasionally, and not only will they buy quite a few things, but they also will give you a tip. So you always want to prioritize them. So yeah, 13 oyster, 3 starfish, 8 pearl. Oh, he's cleaning me out, but that's good because they will give a tip based on how much they buy. And then 3. Okay, yeah, he's literally buying everything I have. Okay. So you see that, yeah, he's giving me a healthy tip. So that was worth my time. All right. So another thing you have to keep track of, and that's up top, is your sanity. Of course, this is a Lovecraftian game. In the beginning, it doesn't change much, but as you... Well, excuse me, that meter is not your sanity, that is your stress. And the worse your sanity gets, the more it accumulates. So it's still in the green, but really the only way you have, without actually having to go somewhere or spend money or something to reduce your stress, is smoking your pipe. And this can be upgraded like everything else. So you see I have a toke there and it goes away. So yeah, we might want to look into that addiction a bit later, but for now we're staying sane. So we have one more repair to make here, and yeah, that's we have to bang this railing back. Okay. So that ship is done, and we can move on. So you should be getting a sense for kind of the day-to-day rhythm of the game. You complete the ship contracts, you have to work the bazaar, and actually, you know, the things I've been scraping off, I can now place in the shop here. But I'm going to save some of these oysters to put in my kitchen counter here, and we're going to crack those open to try to get some pearls. Now, you can, of course, upgrade your kitchen as the game goes along. This is the upgraded one. You'll see I got a pearl for every one of those. So, yeah, as you upgrade your kitchen, your chances of getting an oyster, getting a pearl out of an oyster go up. So pretty much everything can be upgraded, which is nice. There's also a skill tree that makes you more effective at various things. Really, the only other day-to-day task to show is fishing, so I'll demonstrate that. I have a pretty upgraded fishing rod, but you'll see how the fishing works. It's not gonna, if you've played a game with fishing before, it's gonna be pretty familiar to you. You just reel in your line to attract the fish here. Yeah, with this rod, usually you catch fish on the first try. So there's actually a few different places on the island where you can fish. And of course, what fish you get will depend on where you are. Okay. There's also different rarities of fish. This is the one I just got. That's kind of a middle of the road one. Oh, and we're already at the end of the day here. When the day ends at 8 p.m. Oh, I was hoping this was going to happen. So sometimes you get one of these, which is called a night ship. These are really interesting. One hint you'll get about these is, well, check out what the captain looks like. Let's get a light on him. Yeah, it doesn't look human. You'll also see my stress started going up, so I gotta have a toke. So these ships will show up as night falls from time to time, more so towards the later game, and you still have to do the same things with them. You have to clean them up and remove the curse. So we'll see how that works. So by the way, your garbage pail fills up, and you have to clear it out by dumping it in the furnace. Again, I have a lot of the upgraded tools. In the beginning, it can't hold as much, but mechanically, it's the same. Let's go ahead and take a look here. So yeah, the night ship, some of the things you need to do are a bit different, but you still need to pick up trash and scrape. So we're picking up trash, and you'll see these are all like spell book pages and used weapons. There's even like used needles. My stress is climbing there, so I just need to step away for a minute there. I can smoke my pipe. Yeah. And what you don't need to scrape barnacles off of night ships. No, you have to scrape these eyes off. Very Lovecraftian. And you also have to remove these cursed symbols, which you do with, as it happens, the Necronomicon, which you have with you. So you'll see I'm able to remove these symbols with this. And there's more to scrape here. We have time to do one more scrape here before we have to dodge this sanity loss. Yeah. If your stress gets too high, like if it maxes out, you will pass out. And you'll lose a little bit of money, but you wake up the next day. It's not too big of a loss, but you don't want it to happen. So we still have some more trash to pick up, but that's all on the inside. Let's get these symbols here. And then this door to the pilot house we can open with the Necronomicon. And yeah, let's get the trash here. And the last of these symbols. And now on night ships, you also have this ritual that you need to do to lift the curse. So you do this by, in your notebook here, they should probably fix this, there's not any light on this, but you have to basically make the symbol here by combining what's in here. So it looks like we got this, then that. Then you light the candles on the vertices. And then our big eye shows up. Alright. So, oh look, there's actually one more, you can see on the right, one more symbol I need to remove. I think it's the, oh, did I see that? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so now the ship is done. But before we turn it in, let's go through this door. So when you get a night ship, now remember this night ship, those aren't, oh shit. You don't see these all the time. They show up quasi-randomly, more so towards the late game, so you won't have to worry about them for a while. But when you go through that portal door, you go to, I think they call this a cursed place. There's only like 3 or 4 of them. We'll see what's in this one. Ooh. Let's try the Necronomicon. Nope. Yeah, sometimes there just isn't anything. There's the first time you come to a lot of these, there's like some notebook pages you can pick up to fill in some lore, but those only appear once. I believe what we're going to find down this other passage is a cursed item. Cursed items are a whole other thing. So there's actually, I didn't show you, but there's an altar under the shipyard. And you can put cursed items on display where they give bonuses and penalties. So you kind of have to balance that out. Right. So yeah, we have to remove the curse with the Necronomicon. There it is. And then we need to pick it up. So yeah, that was that's a cursed item that we can put on our altar. There's a lot of kind of smaller mechanics in this game too. There's a traveling carnival that shows up from time to time, and there's an old fortune teller woman there who you can actually sell cursed items to, and she gives you not money but something called nightmare cores. I'm not 100% sure what those are used for. The late game, a lot of the late game stuff here is not 100% implemented. As the early access continues, we're going to see more. So yeah, that was a night ship. I didn't expect it to show up. Usually the nights are kind of a chill time where you can catch up on shuffling things around, get your oysters busted open, do some fishing. But yeah, sometimes you'll get a night ship like that. But yeah, when it comes to moving around the island, you do it with this map. And things are different during the day and during the night. So we could go to the tavern, the town square, or the woods. And I know I'm not entirely sure what the woods are for, aside from there's another fishing pier there where you can get different fish. Town Square doesn't have much. We can actually look at that. I don't think it's fully implemented yet. There's this old man here, but he's always there. There's not much else, unless I'm missing something, which is entirely possible. And yeah, the woods, not a lot going on here. The boundaries are pretty tight, but yeah, you'll see there's a fishing pier. Actually, in a very recent update, they added these signs at every fishing spot to let you know what you can catch there, which is actually nice. But we also have a notebook page here. Don't go near Devil's Rock. So yeah, I've seen people on the Discord talk about Devil's Rock. I don't know how to get there, but this video is mostly about showing the basic mechanics. So if I don't understand something, I think we'll be okay. So I guess we do have a fish that I can deposit on our table here for tomorrow. Oh, and we have this cursed book that we got, so I can show you guys the altar. So the altar is downstairs, and you can upgrade this like everything else to hold more items. You'll see that there's these hands where you can place different cursed items. So the one I have there, it's a crown. So it gives you a better chance for getting a rich customer over at the bazaar, which is nice for money making. But it also gives you a bigger penalty if you faint from a lack of from excessive stress. You know, whatever you want to do here. But yeah, we can place our book here. And okay, so 15% chance to double XP, 35% more fear events. Okay, so fear events are kind of annoying, where you'll see apparitions and stuff. Very Lovecraftian, pretty cool. But those are annoying. And also, like, you level up pretty fast in this game, especially as it goes on, and the skill tree isn't that big. So I actually don't really need XP right now. So I'm in fact going to put that up for sale. The Book of Anunnaki. So yeah, some random townsperson is just going to buy that. Let's have a toke to kill our stress here. But yeah, other things to keep in mind. So there is this work table here, the workbench, I think they call it. Well, renovation table, that's what it's called. And you can do things like you can upgrade your equipment. You know, we talked about the trash bucket, the cleaning brush, the pipe, the hammer, the scraper, and there's also I don't know why the icon appears to be a drill, but it's actually a welder. But you can also upgrade facilities in your shipyard. So this first row is the length of the dock, which lets you take on bigger ships. These are your kitchen, which again gives you a better chance at getting pearls. These are actually the workshop, or I think they call it the workshop, which is next door. And that doesn't do much, but once you get it upgraded, you get access to a specific late game thing that I'm going to mention after we sleep here. And then here is also the altar. As you upgrade it, you're able to hold more cursed items. And as mentioned, there is a skill tree that you'll see I've mostly filled up. You know, the basic gameplay loop, I'm going to go to sleep now, end of the day. The basic gameplay loop is basically spending your days doing ship contracts and working the bazaar, maybe squeezing in fishing on occasion, and then the nights are for kind of catching up and more fishing, because the fish you catch day and night is different. So yeah, one thing that I haven't fully touched on here is kind of the story of the game, and there is a story, and it's actually somewhat engaging. So as you know, you are working your father's shipyard that you inherited, and there's a number of story things that go on. People will come and visit you. That's what this door is for. It doesn't go anywhere, but visitors will show up. There's actually a couple other locations on the island that are unlocked for certain story events. There's actually an old castle. The whole story isn't implemented yet, but I'm not quite to the end just yet. So yeah, this is a fear event, I think. You'll see we have an apparition, but I can drop my stress with having a toke here. Final thing I wanted to mention, and this is something that unlocks pretty late game. So I mentioned there's this workshop next to your shipyard. But anyway, once you get it fully upgraded and get the final license, you get this option here to travel to this mysterious ship called the Gulchimal, I think that's how it's pronounced, is a Turkish ship, and it apparently showed up, and it's all bizarre. So the rooms keep rearranging, there's weird stuff going on, people are lost in there, and you're tasked with going in and sorting everything. Now, that's a bit too much to cover in this video, and it's also, I don't know, it's kind of a late game thing. I don't want to dive too deep into it, but it's a neat kind of twist. So the way it works is it's like, the game calls it specifically like a roguelite. So each day it resets, and as you basically you go in and choose what rooms you want to visit, but of course they're rearranged differently, and you can find things like keys that will unlock additional rooms and stuff. There's some special items in there, and there's a couple of overall objectives, like you need to get to the engine room, you need to get to the bridge, which allows you to get to the second floor, a few other things. It's a really neat twist, just kind of a interesting way to expand the game towards the end. So yeah, let's go ahead, go back to the island. So the game is called Sunken Engine. It's currently priced at, I want to say, $10 on Steam, and I believe it's been on sale before, but yeah, it's still pretty early access, but it's getting regular updates. I would say I've had, just in this playthrough, and I'm not even fully done, I've had more than enough fun to justify a $10 price tag. Again, it's combining two of my favorite things, simulation games, even if that side is fairly simple, there's plenty to do, but also this sort of Lovecraftian madness and mystery. It's pretty clever. So yeah, as I go ahead and finish up this, this bazaar customer who's taking our last pearl, Yeah, I would encourage you to check this game out. It's well worth the money. Again, it's fairly simple, but there's a lot to do, and the story is pretty fun as it unfolds. I can't wait to see more of it. And yeah, the game's still getting regular updates. So yeah, I highly suggest you all check it out. Thanks so much for watching.